Hey guys, Jrock here. I want to go ahead and look at multiple pairs, basically to zone in on the US dollar and the Japanese yen to show you what we are looking at and how you can get a better idea of what these two pairs are going to do. Now basically what I've been saying, as I've said all along, is when you go to analyze a chart, you always go to the longest time frame, the monthly view, and you get an idea from the longer time frames of the direction the pair is going. And then you would go and look at the lower time frames to see where the best entry or exit will be. So the longer time frames, day, week, month. Shorter time frames, H4, H1, 30 minute, 15 minute. Now, what we are looking at, I'm going to show you what the GBP US dollar is doing. That's the British pound US dollar. And then I'm going to go right down the list. So GB, USD, EURUSD, USD JPY, GBJPY, AUDJPY, and EURJPY. 6 pairs. We're going to start with the British pound US dollar. So if I squeeze this in and I look over the last 10 years, we have seen, actually that's a long time frame, a big peak there in the middle, drop off, and then it channeled sideways. Then it had a big drop off, and now we're picking back up. So if you see where we're kind of at resistance right now with where the pair has been. If I were to draw a line on this chart, let me grab a yellow color here and right there. Okay, draw a line straight across. That is where the bottom has been, the lowest bottom. And if I draw a line right here, that's kind of where we're at. So I could actually just go here and put a horizontal line, and you'll see what I'm saying. Do a little bit better. All right, so if I put that horizontal line right there where you see way over here is where it hit the bottom, we have surpassed that in the price point. If I take that line and I move it up right about there, we have hit that resistance. If you were to look right now, we have hit that resistance. This on the monthly chart has cleared the 5-period moving average, which is my light blue line right here, the 10-period, which is my orange line, the 20, which is the white line, and the yellow, which is my 34-period simple moving average. All these are simple moving averages. I have the 50, which is the purple right there, the light blue, which is the 100, and then the red line up there is my 200-period moving average. And then the wavy green lines right here and here are my Bollinger Bands, my lower and my upper Bollinger Band. Now, if I look and see where we're at on the chart, the monthly chart, the last month of January, went above the upper Bollinger Band, and then it has now come back in for the month of February. But we are still above the 5 and now above the 34. So we are finding or looking to find some support as it will drop. It looks like it's coming down. We've got resistance above immediately right here on the 50. So that would be my peak resistance, which is quite a ways from here, about 600 points above where we're at currently. But I see that it is coming down on the month GBPUSD. The leading pair, the British pound, is coming down. That means the US dollar is going up. Where this whole thing has been going up from here to here, as it's been going up, the US dollar was losing because it is the last pair. So if the chart shows it's going up, the leading pair is the one that is gaining against the pair that is losing at the end, the US dollar. Now we are in a month where it has been the British pound going down, which means the US dollar is going up. I hope you understand that concept. Let's go to the weekly view. We have reached a peak in the week almost at the 200-period moving average, which is the 200-week moving average, the red line, and we are coming back down. It is no longer holding the 5-period moving average, that blue line right there, the light blue line, and it is going to continue to drop. What does that mean? That means the US dollar is going to continue going up, and that is what I see on this chart. We need to look at other pairs to see confirming indicators. Here's the day view. We've had excuse me, the last 3 days have been straight down, and today, which started about 2.5 hours ago, we have a light green candle. We are firmly under the 20-period moving average. This is going to fall, drop. That means the US dollar is going to continue to go up. We have the next support level right here. So if we are currently at 39.54 and we're coming down to 37.76, that's almost 200 points before we find a bounce point on the daily chart, daily time frame. So that's basically what the British pound versus the US dollar is doing. Now let's go to look at another one. Euro US dollar, open chart, monthly time frame. Oop, wow. It has gone down. There you see at the bottom, we got a triple bottom, one bottom there, one bottom there, one bottom there. And then it took off. Nice big gap up right there. Up, pull back just a tad, and then kept going. Where are we on this chart? If you said we're at resistance, you are absolutely correct. Month of January, monster run. Month of February, open, ran up further, and then came down. I have been calling for a sell on the euro. Based on these moving averages, we hit the 100, almost hit the 100. And the 200 is the red line right there. Where does this look like it's going? Down, down, down. 1.20 at least, maybe lower. So this thing for the month of February is going straight down, friend. You bet your bottom dollar. We are going to pull back somewhere between 120 and 121. Okay? And you see I've got sells in there, but this thing is coming down. This is a demo account that I'm trading. So we're at 1.2380 and it's going to fall. Weekly, same thing. Had a monster pop the last several weeks. Now this week we've started off falling. We bounced off a little bit there. We can see where that low point is if we go to the daily chart, where this low point is right there. Say, why did it come down there and bounce all the way up? We'll see in a second. But the euro is going to come down, which means if the chart of the euro, the leading pair, is coming down, the US dollar is going up. That's exactly what I said a minute ago. So GU, same thing. Euro, US dollar, this is going to come way down, as I said. And if you look, we've got support right here, minimal support at 121. And then the next level of support on the daily is going to be way down here. But as this weight makes its way down over the next several days, this 20 period is going to rise up to around 121, and then this will rise up a little bit as well. We could have a monster drop in one day. Could happen tonight. Let's look at the day. Okay, so yesterday, you see why it came down to that low. We almost hit the 20 period moving average on the daily chart. And then it bounced way up, trading sideways, and it's going to drop off again. Mark my words. We have now found ourselves under the 5 and the 10 period moving average. If we squeeze this in, we have come way up from way down here, ran all the way up, held the 5, then we pulled back to the 20, ran all the way up, traded sideways into the 10, all the way up, traded sideways into the 10, boom, and now we've dropped all the way to the 20. We're firmly under the 5 and the 10 right here. It's going to go whoop, straight down. Mark my words. Okay, there's Euro USD. Let's go to the next one. USD JPY. Actually, let me not go there. Let me go to GJ to look at the yen pairs. Go to the month view. Now the month view on the yen pairs. The British pound versus the Japanese yen has gone way up, then come way down, and is now on its way back up. But for the month of February, what happened? Or the month of January, the green bar right there, it ran all the way up almost to the 34, and it traded sideways to the month of February. It ran up past the 34, but then pulled way back, and now it's sitting on the 5 period moving average right there. Where does it look like the British pound is going to go? Well, we've got resistance. I believe this is going to come down. It's going to break down further because we're squeezing in with those moving averages. So it'll probably drop a little bit and then push back up, or it can just power straight on up. It's got support on the 5. Ultimately, I believe it's going to power up, okay, on the month. So we may have strength, and I believe the strength is on the side of the British pound, which means if this goes up, then the Japanese yen will go down. And I believe weakness is on the yen side, and I'll show you more why. So I said we may get a little drop here and then push back up, but it's ultimately going to go up. Weekly, on the week view, we came all the way down to the 20, and now we're bouncing back up. That is a bull flag pattern. So the weekly shows me that we are probably going to push back up for the rest of this week because we came way down and then bounced up. That means the British pound is stronger than the yen. The daily, here's the daily chart. Same thing, monster bull flag pattern. There's your flagpole, and then here's your flag. Okay, right there. Either way you want to look at it. So we found a bottom there around the 5-period moving average. It got back on top of the 50. I'm sorry, the 100 down here. And then bounced up, got on top of the 50, had a little support there at the 50, came down a little bit, negated the drop, and got right back on top. We had a monster sell-off, probably because the markets were shaking yesterday, day before yesterday. And then we had a big drop-off. So we came almost down to the 100 again and have bounced right back up and got on top of the 50. So today we are in the middle of the 34 and the 50, and I believe this is going to power back up. Boom, boom, boom. It's going to keep going. That means the yen is weak, the British pound is strong. Next pair, Australian dollar versus the Japanese yen. Monthly chart, same thing, same look. We have pushed up kind of in a consolidation, and then it went up to a higher point here, and then consolidated, jumped up, then came all the way back and found a price level support around this level right here. So it's bounced back up, and if I open this up a little bit, we also see a bull flag pattern, but we have resistance at the 50. We have support at the 200 right here, and the 34 has come down, and it's going to start wrapping around. Here's the 20 that's coming, the white line. So this is going to push up, break through that 50, and then push higher. Let's go to the weekly, see if we get a better look. Monster drop off in the week. We had resistance there. It's got to break through. It's still in an uptrend, trading sideways, but the power is to the upside for the Australian dollar against the Japanese yen. I believe the week saying that we found a bottom. We're probably going to bounce up and push up through that red line, the 200 weekly moving average. The day chart shows we had a big drop off and then found a bottom, as you saw on the other chart, the weekly and the monthly. So here we are, we're under the 5, which is the only cause for concern on this chart. Under the 5, traded sideways. We're right at the 200, but we have not closed yet. Okay, we have not closed. This is a new daily candle, so it came down a little bit, sat on that Bollinger Band. And if it pushes up all the way up here, then we've got strength. There's a little resistance at the 100, and for the next several days it could push on up, which would mean Australian dollar goes up, the yen is going down. Let's go to EURJPY, monthly view. Same thing, been going straight up, no resistance in sight. It's above all of the moving averages, which means it has support. It is kind of taming itself a little bit, coming down, not strongly forging ahead. May trade a little sideways on the month, or it may pop. All I see is blue sky on the monthly chart, straight up. It's holding the 5 and could hold the 10 there. The weekly view, same thing, straight up. And it is coming down on the week, but it looks like it found support. Where do you see that support at? Right there, that 20-period moving average, and then bounce way back up already. So it's probably going to sit up on top of the 5 or 10 and then continue to push up. If the euro is pushing up, the yen is going down. Let's look at the day. Same thing, big drop 2 days ago, and then yesterday it fell and then pushed all the way back up. Here we're trading sideways, came down a little bit already, pushed back up. Boom, this thing is going back up. Euro going up, yen going down. Okay, so I did all of those. Now let's go ahead and look at UJ, the US dollar versus Japanese yen. Everything I've shown you so far, the US dollar is strengthening, the yen is weakening. So here we go. If we see over the last several months, last few years actually, had a big move up and then a big move down, and then we found price level support right here at that level right there. So there's your price support. Then it bounced up. That's a flagpole and a flag pattern. That's a bull flag pattern on the monthly. So what's going on the monthly? Well, what I see here, we have a bottom, and a bottom. That's a triple bottom that's been set in. And every time we hit a bottom, it ran up. Hit a bottom, it ran up. So here I called for it, a bottom and run up. This is also, looks to me like an inverted head and shoulders, which is, there's your left shoulder, your head, and your right shoulder is setting in. This is going to power up through those moving averages. And here's the peak all the way up here. So 118. It could power up higher than that. We're going to see. Okay. Now let's go ahead and look at the weekly view. So the weekly view, same thing. If I squeeze that in, there's your bull flag pattern. Let me get my marker right here. So there's your flagpole and there's your flag pattern. So that is looking real good. I'm going to clear that out. And I can also show you the inverted head and shoulders. That's looking like it's going to form. And then here's your neckline right there. So if this powers up, it's going to find resistance right there. But if it breaks, once it breaks, it's going to be off to the races. And that is when you're going to really see a big move. And then there's the major level of resistance way up here. Where's that at? 125. We're at 109. So 948 up to 2585. That's going to be about 1600 pips all the way up. That may take, 5 or 6 weeks, 10 weeks to get there. But that shows we've definitely got a big, strong move coming, which means the US dollar is going to go up. The yen is weakening as we see across the board. So people are saying, well, it's coming down right now. It's going to fall. Well, I see support. And right here, I've got to use the crosshairs so my chart stays in its place. So we found a bottom. This is called a double bottom buy. When you see the Bollinger Band, it penetrated the outside of the Bollinger Band. The second test of it stayed above that Bollinger Band. That's called a double bottom buy. Boom. Came up here. Now today we're sitting right here. It's pulled back a little bit. It's going to pull back at the start of the day. We have resistance right here at the 20 day. But here's the 10 coming around, and here's the 5. So we're going to push up, sit on top of the 5, maybe come all the way up here today. Let's see where that's going to be. Overnight, we could come all the way back up to 110. Probably push through that, and it normally powers right through a moving average before coming back. So we'll probably go to 110.10 overnight would be my guess. And then tomorrow may pull back a little bit before the next few days. So come up here, then tomorrow may trade sideways or come down while the 5 is coming around. And then if I get my marker out again, let's move that down here a little bit. Okay, so here's your 5 coming like that. So, and then your 20. So if this pushes up like that and then forms a wick up there, you're going to have a big green candle just like that. Then tomorrow it may push up a little bit, start there, push up a little bit, and then come down, and then close out the day right there. And then the next day may drop a little bit, but then push all the way up. And it's just going to keep pushing up. I believe as time goes on, we're going to go all the way up to 112. Over time, maybe 115, 120. I don't know. It just has to, it depends on the US dollar's strength. So that's what I have for now. And I hope that you understand how to read what I'm reading. I know it's a lot of lines on the chart, but it's all right. You're going to get there. You will understand this as time goes on. Just keep reading and studying. This is Jrock, over and out.